You know who I can do without? I can do without the people in the video store.
Which ones?
All of them.
This is Massive Late Fee with Mike and Mark.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to a bonus episode of Massive Late Fee. My name is Mark. With me as always is Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Doing not too bad, Mark. How about yourself?
Good. We've had a good week here. We're getting ready for the holiday season. Let's see. By the time you listen to this, it will be Christmas Eve. So Santa Claus is coming.
Oh, I listened to your podcast about the Star Wars, the rise of the Skywalkers or something to me.
Yeah. Skywalkers rise up.
Yeah, it sounded like you weren't especially happy about it.
No, it's lucky you're not a Star Wars fan because everything surrounding all the movies is all bullshit now. Like, I mean, the fan base, every side of it, whether you like the movies or don't like the movies, or you like this movie or you don't like that movie, it's all bullshit. The arguments that they have are all bullshit. The movies are all bullshit. It's all fan service shit or someone's weird interpretation of, hey, let's try to make Star Wars this. And like Rogue One is just completely miserable. Like, it's just a miserable film. And the last...
I heard about, I do kind of keep track of Star Wars just, to see if it sounds like it's improved, which it never has. Mm-hmm. Like, I heard, a lot of people, talk about, the Darth Vader cameo at the end of Rogue One, and they go, oh, it's, the coolest thing ever. And I saw it, and it wasn't that great.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, I guess, but it's and the space...
But, I mean, I've seen Darth Vader in, 100 video games since, Star Wars, because I do like the games, and he's way more powerful than that in the games. It's okay, he's not as good as he has been shown.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's okay, the other weird thing about that is, so... he's kind of being a badass, he forces someone up onto the wall and then, fucking cuts him in half as he's walking by. He's just murdering, waylaying all these rebels. But this movie takes place literally, 30 minutes before the beginning of A New Hope. And then later, later that day, he has the most pedestrian lightsaber fight with Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and then another part is, because he's got to be, what, it is, 40, or actually, I guess technically the actor who plays Darth Vader looks like he's in his 40s or 50s. Mm-hmm. But I guess if you think about it, I don't know how old, because they show Anakin in the Revenge of the Sith, maybe, where he knocks up Natalie Portman, and he's got to be 20, so 20, and then Luke Skywalker's so he's 30. He's a year younger than I am.
Yeah.
I mean, the character, but the guy who plays him looks like he's in his 50s.
Yeah, it's weird. The whole thing's weird, and somehow...
I mean, even at our age, you're already losing steam. I mean, you're probably the most powerful when you're, the Anakin. I mean, we know the Force doesn't preserve or make you stronger, because look at the Emperor. He looks like a piece of shit.
Oh, God, yeah. He looks like he fell fingers first into something.
Yeah, he looked, vibrant in, the Phantom Menace and that kind of stuff, But,
right.
He just looks oh, my God.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's weird. And Ewan McGregor somehow goes from looking like Ewan McGregor right now to Alec Guinness in the span of 20 years. He ages 50 years.
I mean, I'm kind of happy that they're working on this aging technology, because that always is the dumbest thing ever. Unless I think the only really good example of that was Morgan Freeman and The Shawshank Redemption. He actually had a son who looks a good deal like him, as his younger version. But it's oh, okay. But I mean, yeah, it's just distracting. I mean, obviously you have to suspend belief, but I just hate that. That's so dumb. Maybe we'll get the aging technology down where it won't look like we're watching a nightmare, and then you'll be able to actually age people and have the same actor play the same role.
Yeah, seriously.
Or you could be Richard Linklater, just follow some kid around for 10 years.
Yeah, that movie. Ugh, that Boyhood. It's not a good movie either. But no, I was listening to Red Letter Media today. They did this morning they released their review on the Rise of Skywalker, and they said, can't remember which one it was. It might have been Mike said that basically George Lucas is the second luckiest person in Hollywood ever, because that first movie, A New Hope, was basically saved by editing and turned into a good movie, and The Empire Strikes Back is the linchpin upon which all the other Star Wars saga hangs, because Irving Kershner directed that and Lawrence Kasdan wrote a great script, and it's probably objectively, at least, from a critical standpoint, when you look at, the actual like visual storytelling, how it's written, all that stuff.
I think that's easily the best movie of. I've seen the original trilogy, and I've seen the
prequels.
The prequels. I haven't seen any of the new ones, and I just have no interest. And from what I've heard, like the first one is just basically like you yourself said, it's like a reboot of
it is
the first Star Wars movie.
Yep, it basically is exactly that. It's like a almost beat for beat remake of.
So I like the
one.
lightsaber fights in the prequels. Those are pretty sweet. Like Darth Maul is probably one of my favorite like lightsaber fights you ever see. But then again, you don't really see a lot of good ones.
Yeah.
And also, the opening sequence is really cool when they're like actually using the Force or like pushing the robots out of the way and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the music, like the Duels of the Fates.
That was excellent.
Yeah, that might be the best music John Williams has ever written. It's fantastic.
It is that I've heard. Yeah.
But yeah, so. Like, I think it's a really good point, because that movie was the only one that was really, like, if you look at it very objectively, that movie's basically the only one that was really competently made and could, like, be considered objectively a good movie, and all the rest of the movies hang on that. The fact that was a good movie. And, like, if you took away The Empire Strikes Back and made a worse movie as the second movie, then the entire saga falls down. And that could honestly be accurate.
Yeah, like I've been saying for years, it's not that good, and it's nostalgia that makes people want to watch it.
I will say I like The Mandalorian, and I like The Mandalorian because it's a story that takes place in the universe of Star Wars. So there are some things around, like, there are some stormtroopers every once in a while.
Yeah, see, I'm fine with that. Like much with like the new Watchmen series that I at first hated, but actually really ended up liking. Like, I mean, it's okay. I don't mind if you play the same universe. Just tell a different story. Don't tell the same thing over and over. And and don't what the dialogue is so bad in Star Wars. It's like Rob Zombie level bad. I mean, it's like, but you're my brother. I mean, it's like it's just not good. I mean, it's. And I know this is dumb, but I hate movies where they don't swear because it just seems very unrealistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you're cutting people's limbs off and stuff. It's like, oh, darn it. It's like, I don't think that's what I'd say.
Yeah, it's again, probably the only really well-written Star Wars film is Empire Strikes Back. The rest of them, I totally agree. And this one too, the dialogue, especially in the new one, was not good. I mean, like, even I'm fairly forgiving of despite what you hear on this podcast, I'm fairly forgiving usually in my personal life of most movies, but even I was like, this dialogue is so wooden, terrible.
Yeah, I'm fine with suspension of disbelief. I'm not fine with suspension of logic, though.
Yeah.
Like when like people like if you make rules like for your universe, like be with them consistently. Like really, the whole. I mean, and again, I've never been a big fan of them, so I mean, take this as you will. But like the Phantom Menace alone ruined the entire series because they changed it from being like this cool like quasi mystical religion, that you had to focus on and become better at. And then it's just like something in your blood, which makes no sense because did Luke Skywalker like suddenly have more metachlorines in his blood and was then able to lift up the spaceship thing?
Yeah, I know. I hate that as well.
Maybe he was getting the metachlorines out of yoga somehow, if you know what I
mean. But that's one of the worst things about the prequels, and like little things that they did that ruined things, like Yoda using a lightsaber, like that betrays his entire character. Like the whole reason
that fight was stupid.
The whole reason in Empire Strikes Back that it's like it's surprising and why he acts like this weird like creature or whatever. But the whole thing that's surprising about it is because you would think, or Luke has this preconception that a great Jedi warrior
master,
is some like big, strong guy, and it's like no, it can be it can come in any package, because like you said, it was more about almost like Buddhist like it's more
Yeah, for
about
sure. It
like
was definitely
your
like a very Taoism type.
yeah.
You're in control of the force, or you're aligned to a certain thing. I mean, and the concept of it is interesting, but I never liked the PG/G rated like world they gave the characters to explore.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I mean, if you gave Sam Peckinpah, a chance to direct a Star Wars movie and write the script, that would be a movie I'd like to see.
It would be interesting for sure.
I mean,
I
it's what
can't
you said.
remember.
Didn't you say? I've heard the Mandalorian is like kind of like more like a western, which I'm a fan
It
of
is.
westerns, and I wouldn't mind a sci-fi western, but just the whole Star Wars thing just gives me a bad taste. I mean, I'm sure if I hear a lot of really rave reviews, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, you should eventually at some point give it a shot. It's got a lot of Western motifs to it. There are a lot of
I like Pedro Pascal a lot.
yeah, and he's very good in it. I was gonna say when you talk about Peckinpah, what's his name? David Lynch almost directed
Yeah, I was just say he almost directed the Empire Strikes Back, what didn't he?
Return of the Jedi.
Oh, was it?
It's
That
so
would have been
funny.
even weirder.
It's so funny listening to David Lynch tell the story because George Lucas comes in and kind of like they have lunch and he explains to him and he's like, David Lynch is like, after a while, he's like, I just had a headache. I'm like, George, I gotta go back to my hotel room. I just got a headache. I did Wookiees and little bears running around. He's like, I don't understand any of this. He's like, none of this makes sense. It's so funny. Hearing him tell the story is hilarious.
I'll have to check into that because what's interesting about David Lynch is I don't think I've ever seen any of his movies. But I did see like a movie by his daughter, and it was a really interesting movie. I cannot remember the name of it, but it's like these two like FBI agents are actually like serial killers.
Oh,
Are you familiar with this
interesting.
movie?
I
It was a
don't
really
think so.
it was like at the beginning of the movie there's like a car accident, and then like they show up to investigate, but it turns out like they had actually caused the accident because they're just going around like spree killing people. It's a really interesting movie, and it's really well done.
Sounds familiar. Oh, I know she did that movie Boxing Helena. I think that was the first movie that
I've
she
never
did.
seen that, but isn't that what I think that's where who was it? Nicole Kidman like had to like pay money because she dropped out of the project.
Yeah. Yes.
From what I understand, it's basically the entire movie is cutting a woman up and putting her into a box.
What, Boxing Helena?
Yeah, like it's literally like they're putting her into a box.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, it's called Surveillance.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I like David Lynch. His movies obviously are strange. But
I like that sequence from Mulholland Drive where like the guy's describing his dream and then he goes outside.
yeah.
Like, I guess if you watch the movie, it must really pull you in because it just did not like it wasn't even a little scary to me at all. It was just really weird.
Yeah, I saw Eraserhead, which is I believe that's his first film.
I believe it might even be a student film.
It's, obviously it's strange, but and I don't understand a ton about it, but I do like it. And then Lost Highway is probably my favorite movie of his. I didn't watch a lot of Twin Peaks, and I honestly didn't love Dune, but the rest of the movies, like because I've seen Mulholland Drive, I've seen Blue Velvet, I've seen Wild at Heart, so I like I like a lot of the stuff that he does, but he's definitely, he's not. You wouldn't think of him as a Star Wars director. I don't know if
Right.
George Lucas was just like kind of buddies with him or something. And that's
Like maybe
why
you wanted to be more commercial or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I know it was George Lucas's idea, and like George came to him with the proposal, and David Lynch basically said like he got a headache, and he basically was like, no, I'm not going to do this.
Right.
Because originally he wanted Spielberg to direct it, but then Spielberg couldn't for some reason. I think it was like a Directors Guild thing or something. There was some weird reason that he couldn't do it.
Didn't like George Lucas have to leave the Directors Guild or something over Star Wars?
Yeah, well, one of the things too, and honestly, I guess this is maybe the best thing George Lucas did. I'm sure you'll remember when we were kids and everything, and even kind of into the '90s. It used to be for you younger kids. It used to be that all the credits played at the beginning. Like it wasn't just like, hey, here's the title of the movie. This is who wrote it. This is who directed it. Here's like the top 3 stars in it or whatever. Now let's get on to the movie. Like every credit, every actor, the editors, the best boy, key grip, all that shit, all played over the beginning of the movie. And there'd always be, the thing is they'd make some kind of animated sequence or some kind of long driving sequence set to music or something like that so they could go through the whole credits and everything. And it was like you had to wait, several minutes before the movie actually started. George Lucas changed that. And it was against the Directors Guild. It was against like the code. They're like, you can't not put the credits at the beginning. He's like, fuck it, I'm not doing it. And so he's like, I don't want any credits to go through the beginning of this film. So like all Star Wars.
Yeah, he doesn't want a bunch of long, boring texts at the beginning of a movie.
The taxation of trade routes to the outlying star systems are in dispute. But so he basically changed that, and like eventually and I think that's why he got kicked out of the Directors Guild, and then eventually they changed the rules, and he's
like, oh yeah, that's better.
Yeah, and now all the credits are obviously at the end, and then Marvel makes you sit through all the credits at the end of the movie to see.
I wouldn't know.
To see fucking J.K. Simmons say, hey, that's Spider-Man.
Hey, look at that guy. He's a spider and a man at the same time. My favorite thing is when you're watching cable and just how quickly they rush through the credits at the end.
Oh, yeah.
It's like ridiculous. It's like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's seriously, all the credits, every credit goes by in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's like the warnings for like a new prescription pill. Mm-hmm. Like at the very end, it's like, oh, by the way, it may cause your balls fall.
May cause anal bleeding, stomach cancer, and spine compression.
Dissolving from the inside, headaches. We're not here to talk about Star Wars again, but I think this one is actually spoiler-free, so that's good, I guess.
I guess it's true, yeah. We basically had a spoiler-free discussion about the disappointing The Rise of Skywalker, but honestly, I really didn't expect much more from it. And
I'm happy to hear that this completely ruined the rest of the franchise for you.
I think
that's kind of what I was hoping would happen.
I think they're pretty much done, too. At least that's what Robert Iger said to the board of directors.
With the Skywalkers, at least.
Yeah, well, they're done with the movies for a while. They're going to do a Obi-Wan thing, but that's also...
I thought some people were writing scripts for, like, different, like, trilogies.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be, like 2023 or something like that. So for like 3 years,
so it's like one extra year than normal, I guess.
Right. So like for 3 years, we'll have a break. They're gonna do an Obi-Wan thing on Disney Plus. They've got The Mandalorian, which, like I said, is good. And if they do something interesting with Obi-Wan, maybe I'll watch it. That's the one that everyone's like, oh, we want to see that. We want to see that. And the reason they want to see that is because Ewan McGregor's really good. That's the thing. And that's another thing too, real quick before we get to what we're actually here to talk about. Outside of The Empire Strikes Back, the only thing that people ever point out about, oh, I like this about this, or I like this. So like the prequels, it's Ian McDiarmid as the Emperor and Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, because they're both outstanding actors. At least Ewan McGregor is definitely an outstanding actor. Ian McDiarmid is definitely outstanding as the Emperor. I haven't really.
That's a weird choice, I think.
Which one?
Ian. Is this the guy I'm thinking of? Is it the guy from Deadwood?
I don't know. I know he plays the Emperor. I don't know anything.
I'm thinking of Ian McShane. Never mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if that guy is a really weird, would be a really odd choice. But yeah, if it's an original guy, then yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so they love the Emperor. They love Ewan McGregor, and like with the new movies, they love Adam Driver. And Adam Driver is a fantastic actor. And like maybe the best character and best actor they've ever had in this series, although for the most part it's been wasted.
What about Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian?
Yeah, Billy D. Williams is fun. And his character is fun. I wouldn't call him a great actor, but
And I meant like best character. Like
Yeah.
he switches shirts for some reason that's never explained when they're in the ship.
it's so weird because he's just dressed in Han's clothes. It's so fucking weird.
It's a very odd scenario going there.
It's like and by the way, like so Han got carbonated in his clothes. And then it's like there's just like an extra set of Han clothes just laying around, and it's like,
Well, to be fair, he wears the same outfit all the time.
right, it's like he just has like 15 copies of that outfit for some reason.
Pretty much. He's like he's like the Steve Jobs of the Star Wars universe. He just wears the same shit all the time.
Exactly.
And also, I'm sure it was easier to sell toys that way.
Yeah. But yeah, it's so weird that he's dressed
my favorite
like
George Lucas quote is that Star Wars is a children's movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's basically designed for 12-year-olds. And, you know, when I first saw the movies, the original trilogy, I was around that age, and they were good, and I liked them. And
I think I kind of missed out on them when I was younger. Like, I didn't really watch them until I was like 16 or so. I mean, I'd catch glimpses on TV because, it's, permeates, culture.
Right.
But I think the time I actually sat down and finally watched all the way through, like, whoever I was watching was like, bubbling over how good it was. I'm like, yeah, I don't think so.
yeah, they all have problems. Like, so Return of the Jedi is probably my personal favorite. It's the first one that I saw. It's the one that, like, that's the one that has nostalgia. I have nostalgia glasses for sure. But I watched it again recently, and it's so funny. You totally forget the beginning of that movie's pretty good, where they rescue Han and they kill Boba Fett and all that stuff, right? And then the ending of it, where they're blowing up the Death Star, is pretty cool too. There's a middle.
Kevin Smith said it perfectly, where it's just a bunch of Muppets,
right? But there's a middle to the movie too that everyone forgets, and it's so boring and slow, and nothing happens. It's not a well-constructed movie in any way.
I don't even remember what happens in the middle. Is that where like Luke Skywalker is talking to like his dad about like his problems or something?
Basically, yeah. He's like, "Hey, Dad, why don't you come over on the light side?
You never threw me a forced baseball when I was a kid.
Exactly.
Do this.
Yeah. And Darth Vader's all like, "Oh, hey, you made a lightsaber. That's cool." And then that's one of those things where it's like, then in expanded universe and it becomes canon, it's like, oh, Jedis make their lightsabers. That's one of the ways they prove that they've like become a Jedi and they finish their training and stuff. They make their own lightsabers.
Which also makes no sense.
Right, because Darth Vader one time was just like, hey, you made a new lightsaber, cool. Because you lost yours because I cut your fucking hand off with it in it.
Right. But I mean, like, well, just why would they like, oh, I'm a very spiritual, peaceful, goes with the flow kind of person, and also I am a mechanical genius who can make a crystal into a 3-foot long beam of pure energy.
Exactly. Plus, I mean, I don't understand why they ever use a lightsaber. Just like fucking push people around with your mind and shit. Like, I mean,
yeah, they're dumb. Just get guns. Guns are better.
A real human gun in Star, that'd be great. Hey,
That's
Boba
what I'm
Fett.
saying. Sam Peckinpah would be.
It turns out that Stormtrooper armor doesn't really hold up very well to human guns.
That'd be fun. Like as far as I mean, I can't. And a lot of people say it's a science fiction movie. It's really not. It's
not.
a fantasy. It's more like a
Absolutely.
space opera. I think a lot of it was based off like Flash Gordon and that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Because George Lucas just basically ripped off characters he liked and kind of re-skinned them a bit.
Yeah, George Lucas went to the movie theaters when he was a kid and saw like old adventure serials and old Flash Gordon serials and was like, "Hey, let's just do that and we'll make Indiana Jones."
I think he actually tried to buy the rights to it, but he couldn't afford it. So
yeah,
that's why he kinda
exactly. He tried to buy the rights to Flash Gordon because he wanted to make a Flash Gordon movie, and they said no, or they said yes, but pay us this much money, and he's like, I don't have that. Because I haven't made Star Wars yet, so I don't have that money. So then he's just like, okay, well, I'll just make up something, and that's what he did. But at least with like Indiana Jones, because they had decent writers and stuff on that. So like Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade and everything. They take like that genre of like adventure serial films, and they kind of elevated it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're bad movies like I do with Star Wars, the Indiana Jones movies, but I mean, they're fun. They're definitely one you could do, like, And if you're curious, my friend Matt has figured out a part where you see the monkey's penis in Raiders of the Lost Ark. So
I knew it was gonna have to do with someone's cock. Like,
yeah, it was a monkey's cock. But yeah, if you can text him or like Twitter him, he'll give you all the deets.
Yeah, and if you want to see cock, I mean, so Matt's gonna do like a Mr. Skin type thing where it's like Mr. Dong or something like that, where he just starts a thing where this is where you see cock in every movie because he's obsessed.
Yeah, it's very weird too because it can't be like deliberate. Like he just hates that. Like it's like he loves like a glimpse of like a ball sack or like the side of a dick or something. That's really what he prays.
It's
kind of rapey in a way. It's gotta be non-consensual.
Yeah, it's gotta be a little sneaky. Oh my god. He's never had a girlfriend, has he?
I don't know.
Matt, come on the show and tell us why you love cock so much.
Yeah, Matt. I don't think Matt's into dudes, if that's what you're implying.
No, I don't think he is either. I mean, I spent several days in the car with him.
Oh, did you know?
I mean, some stuff happened, but not consensually, not on purpose.
Do we know whose idea it was?
It was all inadvertent. But no, seriously, you should come on the show because
he doesn't listen to this.
I know he doesn't. He don't care.
No, he doesn't.
That's why we can say whatever we want.
I offered to record a very quick segment about his ball baggery love, but no, he wasn't up.
Oh, well, everyone find, even though we're not going to tell you any of his information, find Matt online somehow and fucking.
If you can somehow search Twitter, which I don't think is possible, he writes a lot of he writes a lot of tweets about the poor quality of chairs at the library of the city he lives in.
What the fuck?
He just like shits all over the chairs. He's like, oh, this chair. He's like, oh, it'd be much better if we had some comfortable chairs here.
Yeah, because the library's not hemorrhaging enough money as it is.
Which is weird because he doesn't read books. I don't know why he's even at the library.
Oh my god. He
has a phone and a computer.
He's trolling.
Why I really don't know why he's going there.
He's there to see mystery. Some sneaky. It's like, you know how people will draw cocks and stuff like that in books? He's looking for that. He's flipping through.
Actually, something disturbing just occurred to me. What if he's going there for the anonymity of it?
Oh god.
Like, so whatever he's doing can't be traced back to his personal accounts.
Oh my god.
It's a subject we should have explored.
It's like not the Usual Suspects. It's like 7, where he's using the library system.
Right.
And he likes cock like Kevin Spacey.
Non-consensually. Yeah. That's true. Actually, I don't think he likes cock, but
no,
he does like the non-consensual images in video of it, and balls as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's ever once mentioned that he accidentally saw a nipple that he was supposed to see?
It's never come up.
Not once.
Do you think he's just comparing?
I just think he's excited by the fact that he sees something that he doesn't think he's supposed to see. But I mean, it's not like this hasn't been directed and edited and viewed thousands of times. They could cut that out if they wanted to.
Let me ask you a question. There's a very famous extra at the end of Teen Wolf that is in the stands and takes his cock out. Now, that's a deliberate action, but it's not supposed to be in the movie. So is that something he'd like?
believe it or not, we've discussed this.
Okay.
I think he doesn't like that because it was either, or maybe it was somebody on his gigantic Reddit thread about accidental balls and dicks.
Oh my god!
It was either him or someone on there was like saying like, well, it's not accidental because just because they missed it, it was still intentional. Like, I think the thing that he likes is that if the person, I guess he thinks that the person doesn't realize that their sack is on TV or something.
Okay, so it has to be unintentional from the person.
Yeah, man, I can't imagine it's unintentional. I mean, how is anything in a movie that the editor didn't see? It's not like they're just glancing at the frames like one time or anything,
Right. Oh, Matt.
But yeah, I don't understand.
Matt's the best.
He's pretty hilarious.
Oh God.
And City Reela's Library, fix your fucking chairs.
Yeah. What city library?
I'm not going to say that.
What did you say? I didn't understand.
I said Matt's city. He lives in the library.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what library you are. You know that your chairs suck. If you're sitting in your library and you're like, yeah, I know we really cheaped out on these chairs. Fucking pad that shit up.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that Bill Burr interview with where he has a very uncomfortable chair and he just won't shut up about it?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
That's Matt. That's Matt at the library.
And they go to switch it out, and Bill Burr's like, "What the fuck? Why would you do that? This bit is the only part of this interview that's working."
Right. Imagine if you compared our YouTube search histories and videos liked, it'd be very similar.
Yeah, I agree. I think so.
However, I wouldn't have all the weird, what's her name, Hillary Duff views.
That's true. Like her old music videos or something. Honestly, I know you won't believe this, but believe it or not, I don't think I've ever searched Hillary Duff on the internet ever.
Never?
I don't think so. No, because
I can't imagine that's true in any way.
Well, during the time that show was on, I barely used the internet. And, since that show went off the air or whatever, and I stopped watching it or whatever, I've like the only time I've ever thought about it is when we're talking.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. I'm shocked.
I guarantee, I definitely have never looked her up on YouTube. I know that. Because YouTube didn't come out till like 2009 or something like that.
5, I think.
Oh, was it 5? Well, I didn't start using it.
I could
probably.
be wrong, but yeah.
I probably didn't start using it until like 2008 or something like that.
YouPorn came out a couple years later, I believe.
Well, I definitely looked her up on that. I mean, I'm not a monster.
Oh man, we haven't even got to our main topic yet. I don't think.
So real quick, I don't think this has actually happened to Miss Hillary Duff or Mrs. Whatever hockey player she married. But I know a lot of other celebrities this has happened to. What do you seen a lot of like leaked images of like celebrities' phones
ball sex?
Hacked? Celebrities' phones
more than I've wanted to.
Does Matt like that? Does Matt like a good like iPhone hack, or is it?
I believe he did tell me about the fappening a bit.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I don't think he's really like I mean, maybe somebody he likes. Yeah.
But like, is there anyone that you've seen and you were like, oh, hey, that's I like that happened, or do you usually avoid them because it's somebody's like privacy getting invaded, or what?
To be honest, most of the people who have been like hacked, I'm not really interested in, so I couldn't tell you whether or not I would be if they had been.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've seen pictures before. I think I have tried to look them up a couple of times, but I don't know. I mean, I kind of, this is probably a bad opinion, but I don't really care. I feel that if you're not smart enough to secure your shit properly, then I mean, it's not my fault your stuff got hacked. I mean, it's not gonna make it unhacked if I look at it or refuse to look at it. Right.
I kind of agree. I remember you steered me to, what was her name? Bella something. Bella Thorne, maybe?
I don't think so. Are you?
We were talking about it on the show one time. Because
I don't really know who this Bella Thorne person is. Like, he seemed very annoying, but I think who you're thinking of is Alexandra Daddario,
maybe?
the girl with the very blue eyes.
Sure, maybe.
She was on Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She was on that True Detective show in the first season with Woody Harrelson.
Okay.
That's the only person I could think of that I would ever mention because I just find her very attractive.
Well, there was it wasn't like you were like, hey, you should check this out because she's hot. It was more like we were talking about it, and it was like a story.
Oh, maybe, yeah. I think there was a Twitter thing that I read one time, like where she had said like, "Oh, someone threatened to release my stuff, so I'm just gonna release it." And I think I saw it. I'm like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't have just because of the quality.
She was on some show that Ava used to watch when she was a kid.
Yeah, I think she was on some Disney show, they said.
Yeah, it's like Shake It Up or something like that. I think maybe.
I'm not sure. She's like one of those people who are just like obnoxiously bombarded with information about. Like, I think she's like dating a woman but used to date a guy, and there's like drama with that, and just it's like some people you're just like, how much do they pay publicists? Because no one cares about this person. It's like that John Legend's wife lady. It's like I always hear like, oh, she's a queen of Twitter. It's like first of all, her jokes aren't even funny.
Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, it's like I don't even know what she does. She's a model, really? I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
what is she modeling?
I don't want to set
fencer masks,
baby food. I think.
Oh.
Now I don't want to sound mean. And Chrissy Teigen.
But go ahead.
Chrissy Teigen, if you're listening, which of course you're not, but if you somehow hear this, I'm sure you're a very nice person and everything. I don't have anything against you, but she has a weird face. Not like she's ugly, but
I think it's
got a weird face, and her face looks like a baby's face.
I think she's like half Thai or something like that, and a lot of Thai people do have like wide faces. I mean, I guess that sounds racist, but it's just factually accurate from the ones I've seen.
But here's the thing: is her husband also looks like a little boy, so I guess
he does look like he looks like a little boy that just woke up.
So I guess he does. So I guess it works because she kind of looks like a baby and he looks like a little boy. I mean, I think they have a child. I'm guessing the child
looks like a full-grown adult.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Benjamin Button situation. Yeah, I don't.
But yeah, it's like this Bella Thorne person is like, I don't think anyone really cares to hear what she has to say, but it's like you're just like, well, to be fair though, I'm always dredging the bottom of the barrel at yahoo.com, so it's not like I'm getting like, fucking Walter Cronkite, reading stories and shit.
All right. Could you imagine Bella Thorne today?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's weird. There's really, I mean, I guess local news are kind of like sort of journalists, but there's really not any journalism anymore.
Yeah, not like it was.
And I still feel that they could just do the local news with one person. I mean, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. It's not like we think this one person is more knowledgeable about sports than the others. He's just reading stats and showing a highlight clip.
It should be Bella Thorne because she could be in the category of how do they survive. So I know she was in that one.
Yes. How does she survive?
Show. Yeah, I know she was in that one TV show. What has she done since?
Yeah, like she's just like in magazines, and I don't really even understand what's going on with that. Like I said, I don't think that's like a legitimate like journalistic like, oh my god, Mel Bella Thorne is whatever.
Do you get paid for making the cover of Us Weekly?
I doubt it.
When they're just talking about like
pay for their pictures.
What's your process? Do you Bella Thorne says colonics are the way to go.
Yeah, I don't understand any of that stuff. It's very odd to me.
She was in that TV show with that Zendaya person, and she's been in the guy that sings and Hugh Jackman sings and dances while he beats elephants to death.
The Great Showman movie?
Yeah, she was in that, and she's in the Spider-Man movies.
I've heard of this Zendaya lady. Like, I know she's in quite a bit of things.
So I know how she's surviving, but I don't know how Bella Thorne is surviving.
Wasn't she in that HBO show that was like about like drugs or something like that?
I don't know.
That Zendaya lady?
Maybe.
I think she was in The Lion King as well.
Yeah, I think she's also in that terrible Cats movie that just came out.
Oh my god, that movie looks so dumb.
Oh, and David Swiss is the star of it. So.
Yeah, how could anyone watch? How could anyone get like a daily like with the CGI and shit from that? Like, oh, it's gonna be a great movie.
But the thing that made me laugh was obviously
They look like neither human or cats.
yeah, exactly. Talk about the uncanny. They define the uncanny valley.
Yes, they should change the name of the movie to Uncanny Valley.
Right. But so they were talking about like, oh, Star Wars is a little disappointing. It'll make money, but like, it's a little disappointing because it debuted and it's only going to make like 180 or 190 million dollars or something like that, right? This fucking Cats movie was made for 95 million dollars, and you usually double that for marketing. So about 180, 190 million dollars. It made 6.5.
It's already out?
Yeah, they threw it to the wolves against the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I probably just like we can blame Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah, because they like I don't know at what point, but at some point the studio was like, oh yeah, this is not gonna work.
Did Kevin Costner direct this?
I don't know. I don't know who directed it.
Just judging by box office returns alone.
I mean, I don't like Cats the musical at all.
Yes, I hate musicals. I love the animals, Cats, but musicals are terrible.
Yeah, I like Cats too. I like because we got that new cat Peaches, and she's.
I don't think I've seen pictures of Peaches yet.
Oh, Carol's put some on Facebook, but I'll put some up there too.
Thank you.
She she's has gotten used to us now and everything has become a part of the family and everything. She's much more comfortable now and everything, which is cool.
Kind of like Charles in Charge.
Exactly.
He's part of the family.
Exactly. But I love Cats' indifference. I love how cats are just like, well, I'm just gonna do whatever I want because I want to do this, and like I don't really care what you want.
Yeah. I love how they'll look you right in the face and just like knock something off
Yes.
the table, like right in front of you, like fuck you, I don't care.
And I can't even I never get mad at this cat no matter what it does. Because it just makes me laugh about how brazenly it doesn't give a fuck.
They really, I mean, if you think of it from their perspective, they have like a perfect relationship,
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to do shit, they don't have to hunt, they don't have to, they can just shit wherever I guess they shit in the same spot, but they don't have to clean it.
Yeah.
They can run around at like 3 a.m. I mean, they do what they want. They're having a great time. And you're like their slaves, essentially.
Yep, exactly. You're cleaning up their shit, literally. Oh, it's great. But
Yeah, I'm a big fan of cats.
But not the musical Cats or the movie Cats.
Or David Swiss.
Tom Hooper directed it. By the way, just in case anyone doesn't know, David Swiss is Taylor Swift. We know what her name is, but David Swiss is what we call her.
My youngest daughter calls her David Swiss for some reason.
Thomas George Hooper, who is a British-Australian film and television director.
That's a terrible combination.
So oh my god, oh no, there is something weird about his face. Maybe that's why he didn't think this looked so bad. Cause
jeez,
it's not as bad as looking in the mirror. He's got a weird forehead and like just pushed together lips, and I don't know, like there's something just really weird going on with this guy's face. His parents are Richard Hooper. I don't know who the fuck that is. Someone from the BBC. And Meredith Hooper from Adelaide, Australia. Who is a professor, I guess. So good for her.
Good for her.
But yeah, I've never...
Sorry about your son's fucking face. Which I haven't seen, but I'm just taking Mark's word for this.
God. Let's see. He's directed. Oh wow. Okay, so here's the list of great things he's directed. Quayside, which is a television series. Biker Grove, but it's spelled Byker. Another series. EastEnders, which I've actually have heard of.
Yeah, I've heard of that too. Isn't it like one of those long-running like soap operas in England or Australia or
I
something?
think it's Australian, I believe. But yeah, it's like or maybe it's actually no, it's got to be because it's EastEnders. It's got to be British. But yeah, it's one of those like really
Yeah,
long
that was
running
my thought
things.
as well.
Love in a Cold Climate. Prime Suspect 6, The Last Witness.
These are like the worst like TV shows / movie names I've ever heard of.
Okay, wait. He directed that John Adams HBO miniseries. I've heard that's very good.
Yeah, I've heard that was good too. It wasn't I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's a pretty good actor who played John Adams.
Oh, Paul Giamatti.
Thank you. I would never have thought of that name.
He also directed The King's Speech.
I heard that was good too.
Yeah, Les Miserables, which besides the singing, singing was just terrible in that. The Danish Girl.
Okay, so he's actually a pretty big director then with all these.
Yeah.
Obviously, he does like award-winning movies, and also he does musicals as well.
Yeah, and his Dark
fault.
Materials. He directed 2 episodes of that television series.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
But
it might still be on for all I know.
But yeah, it looks like his career took a turn in 2008 when he directed that HBO miniseries, and then since then he got some pretty good feature films, and did pretty well. So nice. Yeah, I can see why they thought this would be the guy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like the CGI, or I don't know. It just looks weird.
Yeah, I don't like the source material, and
yeah, I mean, who likes musicals?
And the CGI looks, I mean, like you said, it's fucking horrific. So
I don't understand how the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park still look better than like 90% of CGI these days.
I know, 1993.
I'm guessing he actually just cloned real dinosaurs.
Yeah, probably.
Probably would have been cheaper back then.
For sure. But we are here to talk about... What are we here to talk about, Mike?
I feel we should just keep pretending we're going to get to the main topic and just never get there.
It's a 4-hour-long podcast where we just keep saying, so we're going to get to the main topic in 1 second. But first...
Right. Yeah, the main reason I wanted to do a special was because of the movie Die Hard, which is one of my favorite movies. I know there's some people debate whether or not it's a Christmas movie. That's really not important to me. I mean, I watch it Christmas Eve every year. It's like the one Christmas tradition I have. It's weird because when you think about it, there's a lot of like you pointed out that Lethal Weapon also has a Christmas theme to it, which I didn't really remember.
Yep.
And there's a lot of action movies that take place during Christmas, which is really weird. I wonder if these are made for people who aren't really into celebrating the holiday and that sort of thing, and just want something to watch. I mean, Gremlins is also during Christmas, which is very weird.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. I mean, Shane Black, who wrote Lethal Weapon and directed, or maybe just wrote it, he's got some weird thing about Christmas. Like every fucking one of his movies takes place around Christmas for some reason. But
I'm not familiar with his other movies.
He did Iron Man 3, which takes place at Christmas. He did Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, that also takes place around Christmas. He did
I really like that movie. That's really good.
I'm trying to think what else. He did another one that takes place around Christmas. Oh, A Christmas Story. He did. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, hey, now my tradition every year on Christmas Eve is to watch Guy Hard, the porn parody.
Oh no.
There's gotta be, right? There's gotta be a porn parody called
I'm sure there must be.
Guy Hard or something like that.
See, I'd like to see really well done porn parodies. That's all I'm asking for. I mean, I'm gonna have to, see you pretend to base this on something else. At least do a good job of it.
I like good titles. Good punny titles stuff for The Devil Wears Nada.
Yeah. I mean, that's really 90% of the time. Those are the best parts of these movies. I mean, I don't find that kind of pornography that great.
Oh,
really produced professional pornography.
So apparently, the porn parody of Die Hard, and I think, tell me what you think after I tell you what the title is. I think my title, Guy Hard, is better.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, and I have another title that's just kind of weird. But go ahead.
The Die Hard porn parody is called Dick Hard.
Oh, that's a little too obvious.
It's a little on the nose. Come on, guys.
What about Dry Nard? Because like you shot all the jizz out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that one.
That's a weird one, I think.
Uh,
I think I really don't think Die Hard gets enough credit. Like a lot of people think of it like, oh, it's the argument over whether it's a Christmas movie or not. I see. Like today, I was at the store. Let's see, this is coming out tomorrow, so I can't say what I was getting, but I was at a store.
Okay.
Because my wife listens to this, and I was getting a gift for her.
Gotcha.
But one of the items at the store was like a shirt that said. It was like a Nakatomi Christmas Party, 1988, but then under that it says Die Hard. I'm like, it was perfect up to the Die Hard part because I like the idea that the people just won't realize what it's even referring to.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, it's like Die Hard. It's like, okay, thanks for ruining that small pleasure I had there.
No, I totally agree with you. I like it when, and I've seen shirts like that where it's more subtle or whatever. It's like, hey, if someone walks, and that's the cool thing too, is if someone knows it, like someone walks by and you're like, hey.
Because I have a shirt that just says, it's like the logo from Los Pollos Hermanos from Breaking Bad.
Right.
It doesn't say like in big letters for Breaking Bad on or anything. So it's like, that's really like my kind of like, because I usually like to wear like plain like shirts. I don't like logos and stuff. So if I'm wearing a logo, I'm wearing it because I find it funny or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, so it's like but I mean like it's like it is or it isn't. It's Schrodinger's Christmas movie. That's really not important. I think people often skip. This is an amazing action movie for the genre of action movie. It's way near the top. It could, I don't know if it's number one, but it's within the top 5.
In my opinion, and I mean this might sound hyperbolic, but in my opinion, it is, if not 100%, nearly a perfect action movie.
Yes, that's one of its many charming qualities. Is it's there's not a part you could cut. There's not a thing you could add that would make it a better movie that I can think of.
Yeah, and one of the big reasons why, and this is what so many of the sequels get wrong, is it's the vulnerability of Bruce Willis that makes the movie. Like, I know, like, it's been parodied 1,000 times, like him cutting himself on his, cutting his feet and everything on the glass and stuff like that. But it's that vulnerability is a big part of it because you really feel like, hey, this guy could get hurt. Like he's not, during this time period, because this movie came out in 1987. So during this time period, you have,
88, I believe.
Or yeah, but during this time period, you have like Arnold Schwarzenegger being like indestructible and looking indestructible in action movies. Sylvester Stallone, very similarly with like Rambo and stuff like that. That's another thing too. In Rambo, Sylvester Stallone's a little leaner, a little thinner, and also it has a lot of vulnerability, which they completely get rid of in the other movie. Like,
yes,
the first Rambo movie's like, hey, we weren't supposed to be over there, and they threw us to the wolves and everything, and it's terrible, and my mind's broken and everything, and like the colonel and everything, Richard Crenna's all like, Rambo, I feel so bad for you, and it's like, I'm here to help you, son. We should have never have brought you over there. And then it's like by Rambo 3, it's like Richard Crenna's coming by and he's like, hey, you like war, right? Why don't you murder a bunch of people?
Why don't you help my buddy Osama bin Laden secure this area?
Exactly. And it's just like, hey, it's so like they totally get rid of that, and a lot of the Die Hard sequels get rid of that as well. But you're able to identify with him because of his vulnerability, and like Bruce Willis, obviously actually cares for once in this movie, because this is at the beginning of his career and everything, and he's really giving it his all, and he's charming and funny and everything, while at the same time, he projects a certain amount of masculinity while also being vulnerable. It's a really good performance throughout this entire movie.
he's a really good substitute for the average Joe. I mean, yeah, he's a
Mm-hmm.
police officer, but he's not like particularly like like you said, like they had Arnold Schwarzenegger was like almost like a superhuman with his muscle
Right.
level and that sort of thing.
Yep.
And he literally plays a cyborg in the Terminator.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, but another thing, and I think it's really there's an amazing series of villains in this movie. It's not just the late Alan Rickman, who is perfect in his first movie role.
Yep.
But also, I mean, like there's like the tall blonde guy. I mean, there's the guy at the desk, the computer tech guy. I mean, there's a bunch of really fun, interesting like villains, and they're very likable too. I mean, yeah, Alan Rickman shoots a man in the head for not giving him a serial number, but you never really. He's charming throughout the entire thing, even when he's Bill Clay, the when he's pretending to be the they just kind of got lost in the building. I don't know if I've mentioned this in here before, but I'm a big fan of tabletop role-playing games. I actually hosted a game that was based on Die Hard, but it's called Try Hard.
Okay.
And yeah, that was one of the fun things. Was like there's so many different villains. You could have there's so many that you could just remember. Just like like I said, the blonde guy, the Asian guy with like the ponytail. He's in a ton of movies. He's actually a stuntman. I've looked his name up before. I can't remember right now, but yeah, there's just so many memorable characters. I mean, it's very lean and it's got a lot. I think we've mentioned this before. It's got a lot of like anti-Japanese '80s sentiment built into it for some reason.
It does. Yes.
I guess, but it's not. It's a really weird, subtle form of it because like they're basically implying that like what's his name Nakatomi bought Falling Water, which is ridiculous. I mean, why would that ever happen?
And transported it all the way.
Yeah, to his skyscraper.
Right. Transported it somehow from, I believe, Falling Waters in Wisconsin, something like that.
I'm not sure.
But transported it from there to Los Angeles and up a skyscraper.
Right. And then he just has like this entire like vault full of like treasures from like the East and like negotiable bearer bonds. It's ridiculous. He's almost again they like almost like make him a villain, which is really weird because he seems like a really accomplished person.
Mm-hmm.
Like they even show like his resume. Like he went to school in the U.S. He's not really like I don't even know if he was born in Japan. I think he was actually. But yeah, it's just kind of funny that but I mean, yeah, that's the weird part. But I mean, like there's explosions, there's elevators, there's a guy with his pistol against like these guys with machine guns. There's a lot of memorable lines like yippee-ki-yay, welcome to the party, pal, ho ho ho. Now I have a machine gun.
Right, Mr. Cowboy.
I mean, a lot of people, I think, look down on the action genre, but when it's executed at such a high level like this, it's an amazing movie. I mean, it's fun. There's not really a lot of dull parts either. I mean, a lot of movies, I feel they like insist upon having like a romantic subplot, which is very rarely, helpful to the plot or the movie. I mean, he's visiting his wife, who he's kind of estranged from, and there are a few like small like romantic moments, but it's enough to show that he's like he cares for his wife. I mean, obviously that's the whole MacGuffin why he's at the tower in the first place, but it's not like there's like a 5-minute scene of them talking about their problems. In fact, they never do that in the Death Wish in the Die Hard movies. Like at no point do you see him and his wife have like a long conversation about all their marital, problems that they've had since we first see John McClane coming to LA to visit his wife.
Yeah, it's there. It's just
it's just a reference point. It's not something that you kind of like slide to the side to go into.
Exactly, and it's like you said. I'm not a huge fan of action movies. I like certain ones, and here's the thing. So, like I always say,
actually, here I have to say this too. I think a lot of my fondness for action movies is definitely nostalgia. Like I always accuse everyone of like liking Star Wars because I feel it's the same thing because I saw a lot of them when I was very young.
Yeah, and the thing is like so in action movies, when there's a lot of like let's take Transformers for instance, when there's a lot of action going on. It's like, and I've probably mentioned this before on the podcast, but it's like description in a book. When description's happening in a book, then nothing else is happening. You're basically like, the plot's going. When you stop for description, like a long paragraph of description, then it's just like all the characters are just standing there looking at this thing. basically, and then the plot goes on. In action, it's the same thing a lot of times when there's a lot of action on the screen. The difference is a skilled writer can add in description in just little bits as the plot is going along, and skilled directors and writers can do the same thing with action. They can keep a movie action packed and going at the same time. And that's one of the things that when I really like action movies, that's what they do. And Die Hard does it better than maybe any of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, a lot of great lines. We actually even get familiar. The building is almost a character in itself. We get familiar with different parts of it. We go, oh yeah, we know he can go through here, and then the guy won't find him. There's a lot of like little small parts that are really well done. Like Robert Davey is one of the FBI agents, and he's like just like happily like trying to snipe people from his helicopter.
Yes.
The guy, I can't remember his name. The guy who plays like the asshole friend of his wife, who's like trying to negotiate with the terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really fun kind of performances in this. I just really like it. I don't know. I don't know when I remember being very young. I wasn't able to watch it because it said like fuck and that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But then like I watched it when I was young, and I've always enjoyed it. It's always been fun. It really is like. I can't really say there's a lot of lulls or boring parts in the movie. Maybe at the very beginning when he's getting to the tower, but even that, it's fun. We have, Argyle, who's like a fun, flashy LA type character that, they have in movies. We hear the classic Christmas in Hollis, Queens by Run DMC, which is, probably came out around then. So it's like probably one of the first movies to actually use rap music.
Yeah, I agree. I believe that is the case.
That's, of course, a classic song,
The movie was written by now here. I think this is one of the reasons why this works so well. Is the movie was written by Stephen E. D'Souza and Jeb Stewart.
Stewart.
Yeah, and Stephen E. D'Souza wrote 48 Hours, which is another. That's one of those ones. I think it's like hit and miss with people, but I happen to enjoy it, and it's like a comedy action movie.
I don't know why they never. I'm surprised they haven't rebooted 48 Hours, or did they try?
I don't think so. I think that's one they haven't done anything with yet.
Well, maybe Eddie Murphy has some ownership or something and doesn't want. Oh, I would say he doesn't want to ruin it, but he did do like 3 Nutty Professors,
right? But he also wrote Commando, The Running Man.
Oh my god! I was gonna say Commando. We should watch that
I'll do a commentary of Commando for sure.
I don't mean necessarily commentary. If you want, we could, but that's such a fun, ridiculous movie.
Oh, just to do to review it? Yeah, I'll watch
for a dumpster, not diving, but the opposite of diving, like a highlight, I guess. I don't know what we're calling that segment, so whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could do a commentary if you want, but it's just like an hour and a half, 2 hour movie, something like that. But it's up to you. But yeah, I think we should talk about it because that's a very fun.
You know what else he wrote too?
What's that? And I like The Running Man a lot too.
Hudson Hawk.
Oh, that's not good.
And Beverly Hills Cop 3. And Street
that
Fighter.
One wasn't great. Oh, that was really bad.
And so his career took a little bit of a dip. He did do Judge Dredd, the original, well, not the original, but the Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone.
I really like The Running Man a lot too, so that makes sense that he would make at least those two. But yeah, the rest of the end that falls off very sharply at the end.
Oh yeah, but now this Jeb Stewart, he
was a Civil War general.
Right. Yeah.
What's funny is I was actually making a joke about the Civil War general, but then I'm like, oh wait, that's right. There actually is a guy in Hollywood with the same name. Like I kind of realized that right when you agreed with me. Like, oh okay, yeah, that's what I meant.
I think is it spelled the same? I can't remember.
I think it's the Hollywood guy is just Jeb, Jeb, whereas like you said, the general was like an acronym for something that I don't.
Yeah, but besides that, I think the Stewart's different too. Maybe not, but
I think the Hollywood guy is Stuart, and it might be Stewart. But I assume his parents were making a joke or a reference to that, which is hilarious in my idea.
Oh, no, it is spelled the same way. Obviously the JEB is not spelled the same way, but the last name is spelled the same way.
Okay, is it the same guy?
I don't think so. I mean, this one was born in 1833 and died during the Civil War. So,
But if it weren't for that,
yeah. James Ewell Brown Jeb Stewart. But yeah. And then later he wrote Die Hard.
nice.
But no, I think John McTiernan is a big part of the reason why this also is as successful as it is, because John McTiernan, he directed Predator as well.
Yeah, that's another movie that's fun, but I don't see. I don't know that I can ever tell if Predator is a good movie
because of the nostalgia.
Yeah. I mean, I think it holds up. I mean, it doesn't seem like a terrible movie. I mean, it's like Commando has some of the weirdest lines in it, like of all time. Like I think Commando and The Running Man, which my friend Matt doesn't like, but what does he know? He's fucking staring at balls all day. But I think that's that's like the first. I think it's the first Schwarzenegger movie I ever saw was The Running Man, and I like the format. Like as we all know, I'm a big fan of murder game shows.
Yep. Yeah, we talked about that on an episode once.
Yeah, it was a whole episode about murder game shows.
But what was I going to say? Oh, the biggest mistake that Predator made. I think Predator is a good movie too. But I think the mistake they made, and you can tell it was tacked on by the studio before they released it, is showing the alien ship at the beginning. Because
I'm not a big fan of that. But I mean, I guess I think it's probably necessary because some people probably wouldn't understand that it's an alien. I mean, that's just how some people are.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the studio was like, well, you gotta to the lowest common denominator. But I think it would have been so much better if it's like they're in the jungle and then something's out there and they don't know what it is at first, because the rest of the movie is presented like that. Where at first, like we would, like them, not know what's going on. We'd be like, okay, so there's somebody out there. In The Thing. I mean, we eventually realize it's. I mean, maybe you could find a crashed ship or something later. I mean, right?
I guess they could have put that in a different part. I think they would have had to, very obviously show it's an alien at some point, or some people wouldn't have gotten it. But I agree. They could have done that. That would have been. That's actually a much better movie. Well, not better, but I like the sequence a lot better if you find that out at the end.
Yeah. And because it starts out where you're like, okay, it's an action movie and everything, and it's like when you find out it's an alien, it's like, oh my god, this is something totally different, and it's like I like that aspect of it, and because I've had people watch the movie with me before on DVD or whatever, and I've always, because that part's right at the beginning, like right at the credits, I almost always just go right to the first scene with Schwarzenegger and everything, and cut that part out for people that have never seen it. And their reaction is like when they figure out it's an alien, they're like, "Oh fuck!" Like it's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. Speaking of Schwarzenegger, my friend Matt, the meat gazer, he pointed something out to me that's hilarious. Because I guess he was listening to a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger who did like a commentary on it. And the commentary, he said, was just him literally describing what's happening on scene.
Oh, yeah. Terminator 3, I think. Rise of the Machines.
I think he said he saw it on Judgment Day, but yeah. It was,
maybe.
But then I saw a thing where it was like people talk about their careers and like their most iconic characters. And it was him. And he was literally just describing what was like. I thought he was exaggerating when he said he did that, but he was just literally describing what happened on screen. Yeah. It was the most ridiculous. It was hilarious. It's like I'm watching it, like he's only saying what's happening. He's not saying, "Oh, that guy was an amazing actor. We found him, in a small theater in Wisconsin when he was doing." Is like, he doesn't. He seems like he doesn't really know who the other people are for the most part.
So in this scene, I'm upset because my glasses got ruined.
Yes, like you think he would, like the guy who played the Predator. He just says, "Oh, it was like some 7-foot tall basketball player." I don't think it was a basketball player, but you think he would have mentioned it because like that guy actually was like he's in the very end of Predator. He's the helicopter pilot, which is ridiculous because he's like 7 foot tall. I don't know how he could fucking fit in a helicopter. Right. But he actually tragically died of AIDS not long after that because he had to get a lot of like blood transfusions. Oh. So you think he would have been memorable to Arnold for that at least, but no, it's just the 7 foot tall basketball player.
Oh, wow.
Like I don't know anything about the guy, and I know this much information. He worked with him for like probably a few months, like fighting him constantly.
Fuck. Yeah, it was originally it was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, I think he was on set for one day.
Oh, yeah. So he died from AIDS due to blood transfusions. Was he friends with the kid from Mr. Belvedere?
Oh, is that what happened to him?
No, that's the episode.
Yeah. You're right. I forgot that's how that kid got it because he had. Didn't he have what was it? Hemophilia?
Yeah, he was a hemophiliac with AIDS.
I wonder if that's what
funny,
the guy.
but...
Yeah. That's right. He was like weaponized AIDS. I think is how he described it.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, I don't know if that's what this guy had or what, but yeah. So it's just kind of funny they didn't. Yeah, back to Die Hard. I mean, it's like it's my favorite thing to do when the kids go to bed. I just turn it on. I usually drink. I don't even drink this year because I don't know. Yesterday I drank way too much. Like I didn't even think, but because I hadn't drank in like a month or two actually.
Oh my God!
I'll just
okay?
drink the normal amount. Yeah, I'm like I'll just drink the normal amount that I drink. And apparently my tolerance had dropped off very severely, much like the writing career of the guy who did The Running Man.
Right.
And like my wife's like, "Do you remember taking your shirt off at dinner?" I'm like, "No, don't remember." I'm like, "I bet it's because I was hot." And she's like, "Yeah, you were hot." I'm like, "Okay." So yeah, it was like compared to what I would drink normally, it was not even like a notable amount, but it just knocked me. Like I literally blacked out because I don't remember that at all.
Do you ever watch Archer?
No.
Okay, because you kind of remind me of Archer from Archer. Because he's
basically into archery.
He's a spy, but he basically just drinks like constantly, So it's always like a joke where they're like, hey, "Are you drunk or whatever?" He's like, "Come on, I've only had 10."
I wouldn't think I'd say I drink constantly or did back when I was drinking more.
Yeah.
But I would say I drink very heavily because I drink very fast to begin with, and also I'm a larger person, which is a nice way to say that I'm overweight. And so and I'm tall as well to begin with. So I mean, it's like I have a higher tolerance from that as well. So my tolerance is really ridiculous. It was, at least. It's not now, but I mean it was crazy because it'd be I could drink a six-pack wouldn't even get me starting to feel drunk.
Right.
But then I realized that I shouldn't do it with hard liquor because I would drink so fast I would just black out like I did yesterday. It was just weird because it's I basically have to go to the bathroom 500 times, so I just don't even want to drink,
Yep, I hear that. So real quick, I want to say that somehow I got on this article from looking up the Die Hard porn parody. This is I'm not gonna do all of them, but I've only seen the first one too. So I don't know how funny these are. But it says 35 hilarious porn parody titles that prove nothing is sexier than puns. But the first
That's not true at all.
But the first one is it's appropriate for the time of year. It's Tits a Wonderful Life.
That's a good one.
It says George Bailey, eat your heart out. And then it says it's a XXX tradition. Oh my God. The next one is American Booty.
That's okay.
This one's funny just because of how stupid it is. Ass Ventura, crack detective.
That is really bad.
And then the tagline says, "Did somebody call for backup?"
I think my favorite and yours possibly as well is Taco Bell's.
Yes.
Which, first of all, what are you parodying? You're parodying a restaurant? That's weird.
Right?
I don't think anyone does that.
Oh my God.
And according to the cover, these ladies were not bells.
Oh, no. Oh God. How about the Da Vinci Load?
Oh, that's a good one too. Mostly because I wouldn't think of parodying the Da Vinci Code.
Right? Here's another one that I think is weird that they parodied. Evil Head.
That's weird.
It's an Evil Dead parody, and the women on the cover look like I mean, like, it's not a bad makeup job. They look like the monsters from the Evil Dead. Is that somebody's fetish?
I bet Ted Raimi's did it. Oh my god, fetish. This is on the same subject, sort of. I was reading an article where like they say a single man. Okay, I have to try not laugh when I say this because it's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. A single man is responsible for the genre of porn known as sea monster porn.
Oh my god!
Sea monster porn. Like, there's this company that you could pay, I guess, to make like a custom video, and I think the guy lives in Germany, which is a shock to no one.
Right.
And he like. Sorry if we have any German listeners.
Yeah.
But you know you are. You know you're fucked up.
Yeah. Just like the Japanese with their porn too.
Yeah. I guess. I don't know.
Any Axis power in World War II.
Yeah. You know, I bet the Italians are up to something weird too.
Yep.
Spain.
Yeah, Romania.
Oh, those fucking Romanians. I don't even want to talk about them. I don't even know where I was going with this topic at this point.
I don't remember either. No, one guy was responsible for
but so like he pays this company, you know, in America to make like people dress up like sea monsters and like have sex with like humans.
Oh god, okay.
And so like this one person like just basically created this whole thing. It was just very weird.
Oh my god, so
just like what are the odds of you being able to see something that only you find attractive, you know, in the first place? I mean, wow, you find a company that do it, and then you're not satisfied that you were able to get even one video, you just have to make multiple ones?
Oh, shit. Oh, sea monsters.
And that man's name, Guillermo del Toro.
Yep, exactly. That's what I was thinking, too.
Well, do you think he got the fetish from that movie?
Maybe, I don't know. That movie
I don't know when
terrible.
he started.
I mean, I can't say it was terrible, but The Shape of Water should not have won Best Picture.
It looks really intriguing to me because I'm a big fan of Guillermo del Toro, and also like it looked cool in the previews. But like I walked in at the complete worst moment. Like it was on HBO and I turned it on, and you just see like the fish and the woman like having sex in like a shower, and like the water is just filling the entire room, and it's like, this is a fucking dumb movie. When I'm sure like the buildup was like where, you know, you could like kind of have a payoff with that as the suspension of disbelief, but.
There's stuff I like about the atmospheric nature of it, and the, you know, how it takes place in the past, and I think a lot of the art direction and costume designing and stuff like that's very good. Cinematography is excellent. Yeah,
it looked like the art design was really good, and like it was, the preview was amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of things going for it, but no, I couldn't get over the fucking a fish thing either, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a director where I'll eventually see any movie he makes, you know, if it comes across. Like Quentin Tarantino, I still haven't seen The Unhappy, The Hateful Eight, but I mean, I'll get around to watching it at some point. At some point, I'll watch it.
That'd be a very different movie.
That's the porn parody.
The Slightly Peeved Eight.
The porn parody is The Grateful Eight. Inches.
Oh god. I'll tell you, sir. I dislike that you're using the N-word, in front of me, but I'll defend your right to use it. I'm slightly upset about this, but
right. This
one is a lazy title. But there's the tagline is what I want to talk about. Forest Hump, which, you know, I mean, obviously.
That was, I think a TV show like Mad TV did that.
But here's the tagline. My pants are like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. What does that mean?
Is that like a hermaphrodite thing or something?
Maybe, I guess. Like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Unless
I figure if you're going to come up with a concept like that, you should probably be more mainstream, like pornography wise. Because I mean, it's not like you're going to be a fan of like stupid puns and hermaphrodites.
Right, exactly.
I feel that should be very clearly labeled, because for some reason, I mean, it'd just be weird, but I mean, some people would legitimately be upset by that.
There's a lot going on this one. So, I mean, I have to read every single thing that's on here, I think. Video Team presents a Paul Norman production starring Jenna Fine and Sixy Nix, a #1 seller from Adult Video News, Edward Penis Hands.
Matt's actually seen that movie.
Then it says a parody underneath it. The picture is hilarious. It looks incredibly 80s. The guy that they got to be Edward Scissorhands does look a pretty good facsimile of Johnny Depp in that movie. But then there's a quote on here that says the ultimate porn parody ... funny and volcanic.
Oh no.
What? That's from
these are
Jeremy
shooting big loads
Stone.
on that one.
Jeremy Stone, Adam Film World. What does that mean?
Probably these are like giant loads. There's this guy at the Howard Stern show. His name was Richard Christie. Like he was obsessed with like the size of like a porn star's load, and he would describe it as like going off like a volcano sometimes.
Oh Jesus!
So maybe that's like some weird like again like some weird subgenre that they're just kind of stabbing in there and hoping that you'll like both of those things.
Maybe. How about this one? Honey, I blew everybody.
That's a good one.
And it's a picture of a woman standing between two men wearing briefs. They're wearing brief underwear, tidy whities.
Another one that Matt saw was called The Penetrator, which is like a take on the Terminator. And he told me that Ron Jeremy played the Kyle Reese role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't sound that great.
How about you're a big fan of this, the original, anyway. Game of Bones.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones basically is a porn parody of itself anyway, isn't it?
Yeah. There's very few women on there that I really would want to see in a porn, though. I mean, I don't find a lot of women on there attractive. Missandra, I think, is very attractive.
Mm.
Yeah, I can't really think of anyone else.
Is this a homosexual one? I want to know. It's Drill Bill.
Oh no! I guess
instead of Kill Bill. This is also funny. I thought
it was a Drill Bit Taylor parody at first.
Well, he's got a drill in his hands. So I guess maybe he's just a dude named Bill that has a drill. I don't know what he's going to do with that drill. But
they're going to they're going to rip off that part where he says I'm Chuck and I'm here to fuck. He would just say I'm Bill and I'm here to drill.
Right.
Or get drilled, I suppose.
But you know how Kill Bill, it's like, I think it says something like the 6th film or the 7th film or whatever. Right? I think it must be the 6th film by Quentin Tarantino. This one says the 314th film by Dirk Yates. Probably that afternoon. Drill Bill Volume 1.
Yeah, they seem like they crank those out. I wonder if like they reuse the footage in different movies and they consider that another movie.
Maybe.
Like maybe while they have like the two ladies there, they'll just like put clothes back, like different clothes back on them, and they're like, "All right, go ahead and do this real quick," and then they'll just edit that into something else. It's probably how they churn them out so quickly.
Right. Oh, this one's not good at all. Like this is beyond lazy. IR4. It's in Rearance Day instead of Independence Day.
Sure.
Like what the fuck? In the end, we all come together. How about Inspect Her Gadget? This is from Tranny Factory.
Oh, I think that that's obvious enough that you'll know what you're getting into.
Right. Legally Boned. Well, I guess that wasn't produced by Harvey Weinstein. This one's got to be a gay one. Raiders of the Lost Arse. It's the English version.
Maybe.
Well, the reason I think it is because it's 3 dudes on the cover.
I know that pictures.
And the 2 standing behind the one guy that's kneeling down in front both have their hands on his shoulders. So it definitely seems like it's.
She was kind of. That's not the cover of a heterosexual pornographic movie,
right? Oh, okay. This is dumb too. Napornian Dynamite.
Yeah, that's not even trying.
This time everybody gets laid. Really? Okay, so that's.
Is it the band from PCU?
It should be, yeah.
No, that's what they're called. Everybody gets laid.
Yeah.
They changed their band to that at the end.
Tonight at the Pit, everybody gets laid.
And Gunner was still a fucking tool.
Now here's the way to do it. Night of the Giving Head. But they don't look like zombies. They just look like,
Oh, I thought Night was like K and IGHT. I was trying to figure out what the fuck was being parodied there.
Oh, here's the penetrator.
Nice.
It says,
is Ron Jeremy in it?
well, no, the guy looks like Val Kilmer as Iceman from from Top Gun, and he's standing behind a woman bent over with some blonde chick. The tagline is "I'll come again" instead of "I'll be back."
Oh, on that Arnold Schwarzenegger thing I was telling you about, like he was talking about when he first got it. He's like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound right to me. How about I will be back?" And then when he said it, it sounded so dumb. Right. He's like, he told James Carey, he's like, "No, I'll do the writing on this."
Oh man, yeah, a lot of these are. I mean, I feel like I could write some better ones. Oh hey, I'm a big fan of Quantum Leap. Here's the porn parody, Quantum Deep.
Yes, that's the way I go too.
San Fernando Jones and the Temple of Poon. This one's got Ron Jeremy in it too.
Nice, good for him. But yeah, so Die Hard. Watch it tomorrow or today, I guess, is when you're going to hear this.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
What? Absolutely watch it. Oh, speaking of David, real quick. Speaking of David Lynch, here's the Twin Peaks parody, Twin Cheeks.
Nice.
But yeah,
so sorry, I'm gotta go. So yeah, enjoy your holiday if you celebrate it, or if you don't, enjoy it as well. Happy Kuji Jakaliwa.
Yeah, happy whatever Hanukkah, you celebrate.
If that's still going on. Yeah. Oh, another tradition is we watch the Futurama episode where they're at Santa's workshop.
Oh, I love that one. Yeah, I like all the Santa ones actually of Futurama. I like the whole idea behind Santa Claus, everyone hiding from him and shit.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, all the ones that I can remember that I've seen from Futurama. I love their Christmas episodes. Might be my favorite Christmas episodes of any show, like recurring, bit. But yeah, watch Die Hard. I guess we can say Merry Christmas again, right?
I don't know if the war's been ended yet.
Is it PC gone mad? Or
the war on 98% of the population.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we don't talk politics much on the show, but I will say, if you want to know what we believe politically, all that dumb shit that you guys you believe, you listening, that the one person that I'm talking to, all that stuff that you believe, we believe the same stuff. That's all you really need to know. More. Yep. We're better at it. We're better at believing it than you are. We have more conviction than you do. Just think that, yes. And that's all that really matters. Just think what you want to think, and just assume we think the exact same thing as you do, and everything will be fine.
Just do all the things you're supposed to do.
Yep. All right. Well, we will. Are you working? You're not working tomorrow, are you?
Yes.
Oh, fuck. Well, you got to go then. Oh.
That's what I just said.
But we will, do all the stuff. Tell friends. Hey, leave us a review on iTunes. If you want to get us a Christmas gift out there in listener land, leave us a review on iTunes. That helps with the fucking algorithm or whatever it is.
If you know of any movies or TV shows that have inadvertent shots of testicles, please let us know. We'll feed them to Matt, and maybe we'll get him to come on the show.
Yep, exactly. And if you live in the same city as Matt does, and you have some comfortable chairs in your house, send them to the fucking library, okay?
Yeah, the only form of socialism I approve of.
All right. Well, we will talk to you after the new year. Goodbye, everybody.
See you later.